Today is Thursday, April 10th, but today I learned about a little bit like a cue kind of thing, like a different way to think about productivity. It's just something I've never really thought about before that helped me get through my to-do list today. This is what I've been thinking about like today and yesterday, is to think about the fact that everything that I do right now is one less thing that I have to do later. Everything that I do right now is one less thing that I have to do later. And that goes for just like what's on my to-do list, what's not on my to-do list, and it just really gets me in the mindset of taking action, right? Because if I do something that I'm gonna need to do at some point, then if I do it now, then I don't have to do it later. Right? I'm trying to prioritize future me. So like when I'm doing my school, I'm just thinking like everything I do right now is one less thing I have to do tomorrow or to do later. And I'm just trying to set up future me for success, and just trying to, because you know when you like procrastinate on something and then when you actually have to do that thing, you're like, oh, I wish past me didn't do that. It's the opposite of that. It is past you doing what you need to do, right? But also like not even with like the specific things I need to get done every day, but also just like in the small things, like doing the dishes. Like I was thinking about this earlier, like everything I do now, like if I do the dishes right now, then I don't have to do them later. Or if I do my laundry, if I fold my laundry right now, then I don't have to do it later. Like, I don't know, it doesn't really make a difference, but it kind of, it's just a different way to think about things. I've never really thought about it that way. Just that specific wording. Everything I do now is another thing that I don't have to do later. And like the concept behind it is very simple. Just setting future you up for success and not procrastinating on things. Because if you do something that you don't need to do, such as scrolling or like wasting time in whatever way, then that's just building up the debt that you'll have to pay back in the future, right? So I'm trying to mitigate that. I'm trying to pay that debt as soon as I, as soon as I accrue? Is that the word? As soon as I get it. Just paying the debt as soon as I get it. Or as soon as I think of it or whatever. And I think this is just just like get it done sooner rather than later. Like get it done right now. So if you're a student, one way to kind of take action on this is like as soon as you get your homework, start on it as soon as possible. Like at least start on it. You don't have to finish it in one sitting, but at least start on it and like do it in chunks. Or like school projects, please start it sooner rather than later. At least plan it sooner rather than later, right? If you're not a student and you just have like maintenance tasks to do, like laundry or like these small things that like don't take that long, just do it sooner rather than later. Set future you up for success. Because would you rather chill now with the weight, with that debt bearing on you, and then it's 11:54 at night and you can't chill now because you have to do these things that you decided not to do earlier, right? Or would you rather just get it all done sooner rather than later, and then it could be like 10 p.m. and I can just chill? I think accrue is the word. If it's not the word, then I'll put the right word up screen. It's something like that. Don't accrue that debt. Just like pay it off as soon as you get it. As soon as you have a homework assignment, just try to at least start it sooner rather than later. It's like, I've never thought about it this way. Just like thinking of your tasks as like debt. In a student example, you get an assignment and there's a certain amount of debt you have to pay, whether that's time or energy or whatever. You just have to do that task. So you can either wait for that debt to build up. So if you wait, then it's going to take more energy and more time because you won't be primed for that, right? At least that's the experience I found. Or you can just start paying off that debt, because you know how you like pay off debt in like monthly installments? It's like the same thing. Do daily installments of paying off that debt of your homework assignment. But even if you're not a student, like if you just have these tasks, just do it as soon as you get it. Or maybe not even as soon as you get it, but just as soon as possible, sooner rather than later, right? Because everything you do now is one less thing that future you has to do. Everything you do now is one less thing you have to do later. Every dollar you pay off right now is one less dollar you have to pay off later. Because you know how like when you have debt and there's interest, it's the same thing. At least I have found. When I, like in a money example, you get debt and then it like has the interest on it. So the longer you have that debt, like it's gonna increase. So if you just try to pay it off as much as possible, as soon as possible, then you're gonna decrease the amount of money you're gonna pay in total, right? At least this is my understanding of how it works. I don't really know money stuff, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right? It's just interest rates. So in the same way, if you have a task that has a certain amount of debt, and we can define this debt as either just like overall like taking action, or it could be like the mental energy. I think this is especially true for the mental energy aspect of things. Let's say your debt is defined as like the mental energy required to do this thing. If you receive an assignment and then on that same day you start that assignment, then it's going to take a lot less mental energy than if you wait a couple days and you've kind of forgotten about what the assignment is. You kind of have to review it, and then you procrastinated on it, and probably during the day you procrastinated, so you're like in that dopamine hole and your brain is like not working because of those interest rates kind of thing, like that mental energy interest rate, which is making it harder and like require more mental energy or more money to pay off the same debt. I think this analogy is making sense. It's making sense a lot in my brain, and it's really having me clarify, like, do as much as you can sooner rather than later. And I'm not saying that like as soon as you get an assignment you complete the entire thing like as soon as you get it. I'm not saying that, but the sooner you start, the sooner you'll finish. And I'm not saying that you have to do it all in one sitting, because I think the sooner you start, the more time you have to complete it, so you can spread it out over multiple days if you can, right? Rather than just waiting the night of and submitting at 11:59, right? I feel like I'm using a student example here, but I don't think that this is just applicable to students and to like homework. I think this is also applicable to just really any task. As soon as you get that task in your brain, externalize it and just like try to take action on that thing as much as possible, as soon as possible, because the longer you wait, the bigger it becomes. The longer you wait, the bigger it becomes in our minds, and also like actual. Like if you wait to do a task, you're gonna acquire more tasks in that time you're waiting, in that time you're procrastinating. So that's just even more debt, right? That's kind of relates also to like the interest rates, but in a more like holistic sense, like all of your tasks and not just this one task, right? If you wait to do your task, then you're going to end up gathering more debt, gathering more tasks to do. The longer you wait, the more time. So there's an interest rate, right? The more time you wait, the more it's going to cost because of those. It's like you're accruing more debt. I'm pretty sure accruing is the right word, but I'm not sure. So in the same way, the longer you wait to complete a task, the more tasks you're going to have weighing down on you, the more debt you're going to have. I hope that makes sense. Think of your tasks like debt. And there's like a negative connotation to having debt, right? And I'm not saying that like every task is like this horrible thing, you just have to get it done because it's just so horrible. I'm not saying that, because there's a reason why we have debt, right? Debt is because we got something in return, right? Debt isn't just like given to us, right? We got something in return. There's a reason why we have that debt. So like, what is the reason why you have this task? Think about the purpose of this task. Like, what are you getting in return for doing this task, for acquiring this debt? Because there's a reason behind every task. You just have to find that and use that as your motivation, right? To make sure, like, don't just have this negative connotation of all your tasks. Like, there's a reason why you're doing this task, and try to complete that task according to its whole purpose, right? Not according to your purpose, but according to its purpose. Everything you do right now is one less thing that you have to do later. And also, to clarify, I'm not saying that at like midnight you have to like do everything, right? Because you need a rest, right? But just in general, when you're thinking of procrastinating on tasks, just remember, don't acquire more debt. Try to just pay off that debt as much as possible, as soon as possible. So that's what I learned today. If you found this video helpful, then I would love a like or a comment. Join my Discord server. I recently released that. The invite link will be in the description. I'm trying to build a wholesome community of people who are just trying to learn and get better at life. So if you want to discuss what I'm talking about in these videos, discuss your goals, share what you guys learned today, then definitely join the Discord in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. This is the video that I posted yesterday. You can subscribe in that corner, and if you subscribe, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.